is the fact that our Secretary of State's office will not provide guidance as to whether or not or how much discrepancy is allowable. And, for instance, if your name is Bob, and that's your legal name, and Bob appears on your driver's license, but the name on the registration log says Robert, do you allow that or do you not allow it? I don't know. Myself, I'm a real stickler on the way my name is spelled.
I think we need to be real sticklers on who votes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there should be a lot of discrepancy at all, particularly if the letter changes the entire pronunciation of the name or changes the name entirely.
See, this is the problem I have with Ruth Johnson. It's this. Now, I voted for her, but I think she needs to be working really hard. I think she needs to find a way to purge our voter registration.
Absolutely.
And this is something that's not being done. She always gives legal reasons not. Well, we need to find, to get legislation to pass the proper bill that will uphold itself within the Supreme Court to purging the system. This is one reason I say that we have to go to a renewal system on the voter registration. Mm-hmm. You have to renew your voter registration the same as you do your driver's license. And hey, while you're in there, renewing your voter registration, get your picture and have your picture put on your voter registration.
Exactly.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. And, and the other problem, again, too, is the fact that, people come in claiming they don't have an ID, which I don't particularly buy at all. I don't see why anyone comes in without an ID, and then they have to sign this attestation. I have seen people coming in from out of state where they tell them, I'm not registered here, I'm registered someplace else, but can I vote here anyway? And they're basically kind of allowed to do a lot of these things that they're not allowed to do on paper, and all that you can do as a poll challenger is challenge the legality of this, but this stuff is all done after the fact.
Right.
And you never have any way of knowing
how they
whether
voted.
Those ballots are counted, whether they're not counted, and for the people who are given provisional ballots, there is absolutely no way to tell a provisional ballot from a regular ballot. They're all the same color. If you got a provisional ballot and this made sense, then why not make the provisional ballots pink or make them yellow so that if somebody discovers a bunch of ballots in a car 2 months after the election, you'll know if it's a provisional ballot or not.
Good point.
But there's no way to tell from the ballot itself whether it's a provisional ballot. And the only thing you have to go on is that these provisional ballots are placed in an envelope, and you have to trust the person who takes the envelope to wherever they take it and count it.
So let me ask you a question.
Personally, I have seen a lot of problems with the voting here in Michigan.
So what do you think of the idea?
I don't know how it is in other states, but personally, I think that a lot could be done to improve the process and to not disenfranchise legitimate voters.
So what do you think of the new law that says if you don't have an ID, for your vote to be counted, you've got to come in within 10 days and show that ID?
Personally, I think you shouldn't vote if you don't have your ID.
Okay, I'm with you on that one.
In the first place,
I'm with you on that one. And here's.
I think that people have to be grown-ups, and they have to be treated like grown-ups. If you show up at the airport without your ticket, are you going to get on the plane? I think you have to assume people have to take a certain amount of responsibility. And if you want to vote, I think you need to show up that day. Personally, I don't buy this. I'm going to sign an affidavit and show up 10 days later, because that's just more steps in the chain where things can go wrong.
As much as I like that idea that they have got to show up, I like your idea better, that if you don't have the ID, you don't vote. Because here's the problem with showing up 10 days later with the ID. That means you've just held up my local election for 10 days.
That's absolutely correct. When I took my examinations to get my license in my profession, I had to show an ID to take the exam on the day that I showed up to take the exam. If I had showed up without my ID, it would have been, okay, bye-bye. You don't take the exam. You don't get your licensing for your profession.
I hate to say this. I don't hear anyone else talking about it, and maybe because I came up with this, but I'm hoping other people are out talking about this. What do you think of the idea of renewable voter registrations, that they fall off as soon as they expire, they fall off the roll? If you don't renew them, you don't vote.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent idea, because people move out of state. I mean, both of my daughters have moved out of the state of Michigan, but yet they're still registered voters in the state of Michigan.
Did they vote this year in Michigan?
Pardon?
Did they vote this year in Michigan?
No, they voted in the states in which they reside.
Okay, I should put it a different way. Have you checked to see if they accidentally voted in Michigan?
No, they didn't. I know they didn't.
All right. Yeah, I thought maybe somebody else went in there and said, "Hey, my name is."
But that's correct. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm Jane's daughter. My last name is spelled.
Could use their names.
Yeah, my name is Jane. That's spelled Ruth.
Yes,
and
that's
I want to
probably
vote.
correct. And my last name is spelled Johnsson.
Yeah. Or Gomez, depending on how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
So, hey.
But that's right. I mean, I think the entire process is very sloppy. There's no need for it to be this sloppy. I mean, the government computers know everything we're doing every minute of the day, seems like, and it's just not clear to me why we have all this stuff going on about not being able to identify people at the time they show up. And I just think that, personally, I think we need to. I don't think it's disenfranchising people to say that you cannot vote if you're not following the rules and you don't bring your ID.
Hey, Jane,
and I think there should just be one day to vote, and that's the day that you show up. If you can't get your act together well enough to bring a driver's license, a passport, or some other legitimate photo ID
Hey, Jane,
with you,
I hate to cut you off here.
then you don't
but
vote.
I do. I want to thank you for calling.
Oh, you're welcome.
But I want to get back talking to Phil, who has the robots taking over the universe and everyone getting paid a standard fee for the work that the robots do.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you have a good day. And, hey, if you get a chance to listen to us tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
And that will be Moment of Clarity with myself, Pastor Rick Dietering, and Phil Stargell, my right-hand man.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
So, okay, the robots have taken over the world, and I'm going to get a paycheck. Is that what I'm understanding, Phil?
Yeah, that's the general idea of it, and they start this article off saying, and this was the gentleman that is Tesla's autos. What's his name? Oh, good Lord! But anyway, he wrote a long article on this, where in 20 years, 30 years, when the robots take over,
right?
That Elon Musk is his name. Oh, man.
Oh, mine. That already got... I did not do that on purpose, Phil. I sometimes try to do that just as a joke.
Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow night we will talk about this in full detail.
Yeah.
So listen to us tomorrow night on Moment of Clarity with Wham Stargell, Phil Stargell. It must be Wham Stargell. You're on enough.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And we will talk about me getting a paycheck after the robots take over. I like that idea.
I like it too, but...
You folks all have a blessed day. This has been The Drift. I'm Pastor Rick Dietering, Phil Stargell. We've been filling in with Jane on the show, and you all have a blessed day.
Yeah.